Can you roll me a wits and pilot, please, Andy, to do your thing?
Doing my thing.
Plenty of those.
11. 11 dice.
I thought my 8 earlier was a lot of dice. 11.
I mean, it's not like the 13 that Ack has to punch people.
Yeah.
Wait till I get my first fisticuff.
Oh no.
And remember also that Ack gets to do that twice,
Mm-hmm.
just in case it doesn't work.
Right up until I take damage, so I'm gonna milk that for all it's worth.
I'm going to damage you for all it's worth.
Try
What do you
me.
mean you're throwing elbows?
Oh, dude! Every single one of my attacks, like, can I remove their arm of just above the elbow?
You absolutely can in every case. I mean, you probably remove it at the shoulder because that's easier, like to remove it from a joint. Like trying to break the arm and then remove it just above the elbow seems like lots of effort when you could just grab
It'd
it.
be like pulling a wishbone, isn't it?
Sorry, say again.
Do ones remove a success?
No, they don't.
Okay.
It's only if you get more ones than successes.
More than okay. In that case, that is 5.
5. Yep, no problem at all. You set a course. It's through some fairly empty regions of space. It's a little way off your normal patrol path. Protocol says you inform the captain if you're leaving your patrol path, but you are also doing exactly the right thing. It's inform the captain, not ask the captain. You are supposed to do exactly what you've just done.
Yeah.
Are you going to inform the captain?
Yeah, overhead. That was the overhead.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So not specifically inform the captain, but like, guys, we've got a thing. We're going.
The captain is aware. He informed
The captain has been informed along with everyone else. Why would I have the same conversation twice?
Zora, I think you're probably the most interesting reaction to that overhead thing. I think the book probably says that he's supposed to inform you individually with all of the information, not make you go all the way to the bridge.
Zora
It's
will
the book rather than absolutely necessary, you know.
Zora will go to the bridge with a physical copy of the book, because of course she has a physical copy of the rules.
100%. Not only that, you probably have one for each person that you give to them and say, read
it's a present.
Page.
Yep. And she will,
whole shelf of them.
if Andy's feet are still on like the top, she will just use the book to gently push them aside.
I'm actually seated correctly.
He's doing the piloting, so probably not.
Yeah.
She'll place the book on top then where his feet had been previously, and she just in case you weren't aware, as you were supposed to inform me one-on-one of all of the details of the call and what you were doing as a result of it.
Well, just over her voice, I'd turn the distress call on, turn the volume up a little bit.
Yes, well, just to be aware, we do have procedures in place for reasons. Things have to be done correctly. You know, checking lists twice, ensuring that everything is done, everything's ticked off. You know, we wouldn't want to crash into some sort of asteroid or...
Yeah, Andy, that probably sounds like the stupidest thing she could possibly have said, because there are no asteroids in this region of space.
But here, for you, as a gift, I like to give them to all of the crews I work with. Here is your very own copy, physical copy of the rules and procedures. Next time you have some downtime, just brush yourself up on it, please.
Sure.
I'll schedule a test
We get
for you.
homework, best captain ever.
At that point, Ysal comes into the bridge.
Okay.
Excitedly. Distress call?
Ysal, can you roll me a wits and investigation, please?
I can certainly try. So that's that. Investigation. So So 2 successes.
Okay, I think now is a really good time for me to just mention luck points for you.
Okay.
It's a great little mechanic in the game. So you have a number of luck points equal to your luck.
Okay.
They are the checkboxes on the side of your luck. In your case, Yisal, you have 4.
Yep.
When you would like to, you can use a luck point, and it will add 2 successes to your roll. However,
Okay.
I get a bad luck point that lets me later remove 2 successes from a roll.
Ah,
that the party does.
Story points. We're familiar.
Yeah, indeed. Although
Oh.
story points are something different in Era D10 as well, so different again in Era D10. So, certainly
Yeah.
somewhat inspired by fate points. So, would you like to use a luck point on that?
Yes,
so-
I'll lucky myself. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I now have 1 bad luck point, and you got 4 successes. Just made a quick note of that.
Yep.
You recognize the voice. You've heard it screaming in pain. A quick check in your implant brings up the name and the picture. His name is James Thomas. He's a human. And he was one of those. You recall I mentioned that you got landed on Lebonus or on some of the moons of Lebonus to help clear up. You didn't do all that much shooting, but you did do a lot of patching people up because that's what you do. He is someone whose life you saved during that action.
Okay.
He was the kid of the unit that you were with. And
The baby.
the baby of the unit. He was sort of an enthusiastic 18-year-old who lost a leg and had it replaced. As part of your treatment, it was replaced with a cybernetic.
Right. Okay. The first question in my head: what did I replace it with?
Get back on. No.
Bio or mechanical?
You replaced it with a cybernetic implant.
Okay.
Cybernetic implants are quite advanced. Your cranial implant, for example, can hold information, images of people and so on, access information and so on. And limbs can be activated by your brain. So, he wouldn't really know the difference.
Okay. So Ysal runs in excitedly at the mention of a distress call, because
Hopefully someone's hurt.
yeah, as he starts the list of questions of species, numbers, survivors, injuries, and you know that voice. Was
What?
it just a looping broadcast, or
Yes, it just
right.
loops.
Yeah.
It loops. It's one of those like very basic comm systems that you get in an older escape pod where you just press the button, record a thing, and then it transmits it.
Yeah.
Until you press it again and change it. It doesn't really have any response functionality.
One of those annoying birthday cards that never shuts up.
Yes, one of those. Absolutely. The volume is still up high, by the way.
Billions of people in the universe, and you know this guy?
Yeah, you know this guy too. You remember James Thomas, the youngling humanoid from the Lebonus operation?
Probably a quick check in your implant will let you find that, Andy. Like you probably never even spoke to him. Like he was loaded on your ship. You flew the ship. The troops didn't come anywhere near you because you were flying the ship, and you told them to fuck off. I hope I can say that.
Yes, we can swear the gates are open.
The young one stood on insectoid pod, leg exploded,
Right. Yeah, that kid. Yeah.
screamed very high pitched, interfered with several radios.
Yep.
Well, anyway.
Okay. Weird, but sure.
Did some wonderful work with a rock and some vegetation to keep his leg from going gangrenous. Kind of held him together, but yeah, the lack of anaesthetic was exciting. For me, mostly. A rock does in a pinch.
Zora, Andy, and Akakak, you're hearing this story for the first time. Well, I mean, like this specific story for the first time, but you've probably heard stories like it. I don't know. I don't know what your reaction might be.
It's going to point at the book. That's probably not in there, right?
No, I do believe that emergency medicine isn't covered in this particular manual.
Actually, it probably is. It's probably covered saying the medic should go to any and all lengths to save life at all costs.
The medic gets to do what he wants, provided he's saving lives doing it.
Or gives the appearance that he's trying.
As long as, as long as they're trying to save lives, they do have a great amount of freedom in the how. But Zora, as they finish saying this, kind of just takes a step away. Like,
anyway, yes, that's him. That's James Thomas.
Akakak will privately think that that's two first names, but he doesn't understand humans that well, so it's probably normal.
That's fair.
Yeah, okay. Well.
Although why are you going under the name of General Distress Call? But it is beyond me. Sorry, I couldn't resist that one.
Yaisal, can you just, before we do leave, could you please ensure that you do have the full range of medical supplies needed, including any anaesthetic?
Why would I need anaesthetic?
Not for you, but for anybody that does need it.
Yeah, for other people, Doc.
So funny.
I mean, unless you can hire your own supply, but
yeah, perhaps
he sighs heavily.
Anaesthetic.
He sighs heavily and goes to repack his emergency medkit.
Are you implying that the paper pushing element of it is what you're annoyed at? Yes, I'll.
I don't think Yaisal. I think Yaisal uses the fact that I was about to say he struggles to hold a pen. I can't imagine that actually they'd be using much pen and paper.
Really,
no. No, just he would rather have the space for something sharp and useful in his emergency med kit rather than a vial of anaesthetic, which you use once and then is done.
I noticed you say useful and not useful in his mind.
Yeah.
Now I have to take out my big scalpel.
Yeah. That's going to just change the entire layout of the pack. If I have to put anaesthetic in, at least 2 other sharp and shiny items have to come out.
Yeah, it's all right. You have 7 hours. You can work it out. It's just 3 hours of unnecessary work.
I mean, if you think about it, Yaisol does know Akakak, right? Like we've been like on the same team. You could just tell me to carry some stuff for you, and I would do it.
That's not the point. I want autonomy over what drugs I do and don't take with me. It's not that I can't carry it or have a way to solve that problem.
Stand in my chair, Captain. So, Captain, this will be your reminder that don't get injured. You won't enjoy the party.
Yes, I do want to know that if I do get injured, I will not be being administered treatment with a rock. Hence the extra anaesthetic.
I mean, you do have an alternate medic on board.
Guarantees.
You do have an alternate medic on board, which is good news. The bad news is that it's Akakak.
I do not have a human mouth, but you get the impression that I'm smiling.
Yes, did not let me pick my own crew.
Like it would be known, antenna movements and various body language, even pheromones, which humans struggle to pick up. But in extreme cases of emotion, you might detect them.
Next time,
They-
perhaps they'll let me pick my crew.
As Jaisal departs, he just looks at Zora and says, "Be very careful what you wish for, Captain," and disappears around the corner.
Heads off
Three
into their chapters.
psychos.
Repack. I love this crew. You're all just nuts, apart from Andy, who's just caught in the middle. I feel a bit bad for Andy, like the character Andy. I feel a bit bad for him because Zora's weird and Ysal is creepy and Akakak is suggestible in the extreme. Something's going to go horribly wrong here. Anyway. Is there anything
Here's
you
hope.
would like to do in the next 7 hours?
I mean, can I get us there faster? Is that possible?
You could burn some extra fuel and get there faster. You would still be able to finish your patrol, but you know what it is? You'd be like the safety regs say you have to be over 10% at the end of your patrol, and you'd be 9%.
Captain,
The captain,
it is
that's
just
not going to
a call.
fly. Look
I
at
can
look
get
at
us
the look at the
there
eyes over the
faster.
glasses.
Well,
Sorry,
the
I missed
safety
what Andy
regs
said
do
there.
say 10%. If we dip below 10%, I do believe we will have to have a clear and defined conversation about performance in your evaluation.
I mean, it's a distress call. Shouldn't we get there as quickly as possible?
He did say he had 2 days worth of air.
Sure. All right. You're the captain,
Matter of
Captain.
hours should not make any difference to that.
Barring whatever caused him to need the escape pod. Sure, of course. Right. Yeah. Well, let's
Andy-
not rush our job.
Andy and
Of course.
Zora in particular, but Andy as well. Andy, can you roll me intelligence and engineering? Zora, you get your specialism because this is about environmentals. So also intelligence and engineering, but double dice.
Ooh.
So you are now rolling the highest number of dice that anyone's done so far.
Double dice
you
in
got-
engineering specifically, yeah?
No. Double. So intelligence plus engineering, no engineering kit, and then double that number. So I believe you're rolling 18 dice.
This might take a minute.
Yeah.
You're the winner so far. I always like to have every character, be able to roll loads of dice for one thing they're really good at.
The clicky clickies make the brain feel good.
That's 2 exploding so far. The only 2 over 10.
20.
That's 4 exploding so far. And I've got 3 over 7.
So that's 7 total successes, I think.
That's
Andy, how did
none
you do?
over 7.
Let's go with you, and I'll let you do the rolling, if that's all right. 5, was it? 4? 5. Sorry, I missed that. 5. So with 5 successes, it is a little surprising, given the regs, that the escape pod only has 2 days of air, because regs say 7.
I've 8.
8 successes. Okay. It's not bad off 18 dice actually with a 7 threshold. It's not bad at all. With 8 successes, yeah, this is obviously the same thing. The same thing as 5 successes.
So tell a lie, 9 successes. Not that it makes much, but 9 successes.
9. No, 9 does make actually it's odd numbers that leap up a level of success. So it does make a difference. I had to make an arbitrary choice when I built the system, so I made an arbitrary choice, and it's odd numbers.
Let's go.
So with 9 successes, you can guess based on the way the distress call came in what the range of the pod is. And actually, there are only two real alternatives here. The pod literally cannot. The environmental system, the pod will not launch with less than 7 days of air unless it's overridden. So either someone deliberately overrode, or for some reason there is less air. That might be the pod was launched some time ago, and it's been sitting around waiting, or it might be that it was damaged, or some such. Or maybe the guy's lying, because at the end of the day, you haven't looked at the pod. I mean, maybe he's lying.
Captain, I'm sure you know, but there should be 7 days of air on that thing.
You are correct. Yes, there should be 7 days of air on that thing. And the fact that there isn't is quite concerning for multiple reasons.
Yeah. We don't know how long he's been sitting there. I can get us there faster. We burn a little more.
And if
We
he
don't-
is lying, or if there is damage to the pod because there is somebody out there waiting, burning the fuel means that there may be less fuel to escape should there be any sort of danger. One life versus all of the lives on this ship, and the value of the ship itself.
Andy, you're probably going to find that a bit off. Being a search and rescue and search and rescue personnel for years, you've often risked your life to save people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry, I want to be really clear. That is great role playing from Zora. That's exactly what I think Zora would say. But Andy, as like more of a vocational search and rescue, you would probably feel a bit like that's not the attitude.
Yeah, I'm actually going to stand up from the chair. Captain, we are a search and rescue vessel. It is our job to risk our lives to save people.
And if this vessel is destroyed, then how many lives can we save? Or how many lives will we put at danger fleeing the vessel?
I'm going to pretend that you didn't just insult my piloting skills. And I'm just going to reach back and turn the fuel up. We're going to go faster.
Yeah, press the control to go faster.
Yeah. You can cite me later. We're doing our job, sir.
Zora, you would know that has happened. Like that wouldn't be. Yeah. You'd feel the acceleration if nothing else.
I will be making a note of this in my official records. Hopefully, he is in as much danger as he says he is. And Zora will turn and return to her cabin.
Well done, Andy. You will now. So you're gonna probably do the overhead and just say update. We're gonna be there in 2 hours.
Yeah. All right, team. We're gonna be there in 2 hours now. Get your shit together even faster.
Oh no!
This pod should have had 7 days of air. There's 2. There's something wrong. Be ready.